My name is DJ D-Mac. I'm over here providing some of the sounds for you this evening. We got a lot of fun stuff that's coming up over here. Real quick, we got the first act that's coming on. It's HSJ. Yeah! Out there, huh? Wow, everyone has this look like a dog being shown a card trick. Like, what the fuck is this? Well, I noticed they made announcements all day, but they didn't make an announcement that I was doing comedy. Did wonders for my ego. But that guy that was doing the announcements, this is your final call for this photo op. You know who he reminds me of? Anyone play Street Fighter back in the 90s?
Yeah!
You lose! That's what he immediately reminded me of all day. Anyone remember the movie from the 80s with Fred Savage, Little Monsters? So this is what it's like to have an actual big crowd show up for your comedy act. Anyone after watching that movie as a small child go up to your bedroom, go underneath your bed and try to go through the portal? Am I the only one? I almost gave myself a goddamn concussion like Maurice! So I'm originally from New Jersey, I know, give me the hate, but I live in North Carolina. Now when I drove here on Wednesday night to set up on Thursday, how many people are local? How many people live in Kentucky? One fucking okay, one person raises and everyone cheers. Okay, is it me or does time move slower here? Like you feel like 15 minutes have gone by, you look at the clock and you're like, 2 minutes have gone by, I'm gonna kill myself. Thank you. So I was at a convention last month and I found a new form of rejection. So I'm single, I know, big shock. And I meet this woman at an after party and I'm talking to her. And I have this thing where I joke with women, and again, you can see how well it's working. I go, are you married? And if they happen to say no, they usually don't. But if they do, I'm like, you want to be? So I say it to this woman, I'm like, are you married? And she goes, no, I'm widowed. Recently, I'm like, oh shit. Not because she said recently. The first thought that went through my head was, did you kill him? Now I didn't say that to her right away. And she's here tonight. And she may never talk to me again after this. So, but on the way to, anyone here ever heard of Horror Hound? Yeah! So, we went through this lovely state, which normally going from North Carolina to Ohio, you don't go through Kentucky. And you want to know what I say about that? Fuck West Virginia, because I don't know how the fuck that construction took me from here to here and then back around. We're figuring we got an hour and a half to set up as much of the booth as we can. And my friend Lisa and I are talking. And all of a sudden, I'm not paying attention to how fast I'm going because I'm driving a rental van. And I got two friends in the back, you know, that you're not supposed to have. So we had a code. My company name and my performer name is HSJ. So I said to them, if I say, HSJ family transform, they know to wrap themselves up in their blankets, making it look like I have two dead bodies in the back of this van looking the way I look. All of a sudden, in the way back distance of my rearview mirror, I see the lights and I'm like, is that a cop? I'm getting pulled over. So I'm like, HSJ family transform. The two of them are like, what? I'm like, we went over this transform. They wrapped themselves up, we get pulled over. I had no idea how fast I was going. I was doing 85 and a 55. Oops. So the guy literally comes up to the window and I'm like, I'm assuming you pulled me over for speeding. And he goes, yeah, you were doing 85. And I'm like, okay. He goes, so where are you headed? I'm like, Sherrville Convention Center in Cincinnati, Ohio. He goes, what's going on there? I'm like, Horror Hound, the horror convention. He physically shuddered. Now, not to mention, this cop looked like little Abbott from Abbott and Costello. Like, little guy, he physically shuddered. And I'm like, you are not the cop I want coming if I have a killer in my house. Then again, the killer in my house is going to be more afraid of me. Anyone here see Terrifier 3 yet? Nice. Don't say a fucking word. I haven't seen it yet, and I'm really upset about that. So, who here has seen my booth? Alright, more people than I expected. My biggest fear is like, hi, I'm HSJ. Anyone know who I am? And everyone's like, oh, who's this guy? So, I make customized fangs. I come from a family of masons and teachers and people who do law practice. You can tell I'm the black sheep of the family. But when people ask me, what do you do for a living? And I say, I make customized fangs and teeth. And it's always followed up with, you do what? Yes, I make customized fangs and teeth. So right after the pandemic, I decide, I'm in my mid-40s, I should go to the cardiologist because I hadn't been to a doctor for an hour and a half. So the doctor sits me, he already knows where this is going. So the doctor sits me down, he doesn't give a shit about my heart. Done no test. He's like, so what do you do for a living? I'm like, I make customized fangs and teeth for a living. He goes, you do what? I'm like, I make customized fangs and teeth. He goes, really? There's a market for that. I'm like, apparently I do it all year long. He gets up and walks out of the room. I'm like, this can be good. Comes back with another doctor and he goes to her, asks him what he does for a living. She goes, what do you do for a living? I'm like, I make customized fangs and teeth for a living. And she goes, you do what? I looked at both of them. Are we gonna go through this shit again? Apparently my life is funnier to me than it is to everybody else. Any Godzilla fans out there? Anyone go see -1 last November? I got to do something that I haven't done. First time I got to take my parents to the movies, and I gotta be honest with you, every movie I go to from now on, I want to bring my father because of his commentary. The whole movie, my father's commentary was hilarious. But there's this one scene towards the end of the movie where this one character you think is dead, and neither one of them know each other alive. And it's so quiet, it's this really loving moment. You feel a pin, you can hear a pin drop in the movie theater. And you just hear my father in the back goes, oh, Shakespeare would be proud. I'm laughing, my mom's laughing, everyone else is laughing. It's like, shut the fuck up, Dad. So, since I'm a big horror fan, and I make fangs, people are like, so Dracula is your favorite? I'm like, actually no. I love Bela Lugosi. Who here likes the classics? There should be way more love, because if we didn't have the Universal monsters, we wouldn't have what we're at tonight. Thank you.
There you go.
So, people are like, so if you don't like Dracula, I'm like, I love Dracula, but he lives in a castle, he's got servants, he's rich, he's a count, he's got 3 wives, I can't get one. But Frankenstein's monster is my personal favorite, because I can relate to more like, if someone spends the night, I wake up, as soon as I start moving around, the person in my room is like, it's alive, it's alive. Why did I spend the night with you? I'm leaving. So, is Frankenstein the name of the monster or the doctor who created him? Thank you. Now, in the sequel, we're not talking about the book because I know they're both very different. In the sequel, The Bride of Frankenstein, is the bride made for the doctor or the monster? Why is it called The Bride of Frankenstein? Okay. I heard one person. Hi, Art. Oh, fuck, I don't remember, dude. I'm horrible with names, but Ari Liam calls me out on my own shit.
Her name was Elsa Lancaster. That's the Bride of Frankenstein. Did anybody know that out there? Elsa Lancaster, thank you so much. She was an amazing actress, and she went on to play comedy roles. So you've seen her in a totally different form. So look it up, Elsa Lancaster, or Lanchester? Lancaster. Lancaster. Okay, good. I'm Ari Lehman, rhymes with demon. Do you love Jason Voorhees? A little bit louder so Mama can hear you. Do you love Jason Voorhees?
Thanks, all right. How the fuck am I gonna follow that? Anyone here to see First Jason perform tonight?
Yeah!
Good. Because that would have been really bad if no one cheered. Now, Jason Voorhees is actually funny enough. I never would have expected that. Jason Voorhees is my favorite out of all the slashers, and most people ask me, so why? It's like, because I can relate to him. Because, yes, I was a mama's boy. I know, hard to believe. And if I was 11, 12 years old and drowned at camp, you can rest assured my mother would have went to camp. She would have killed every fucking counselor, the owners. She wouldn't have stopped there. She would have killed the campers, found their parents, and killed them. But if I was endowed with Jason's powers and saw my mother get decapitated, rest assured, I would have killed everyone that comes into that forest and that campground for the rest of my life. But who here has ever worked retail?
Unfortunately!
Why are you cheering for that? I left retail. I am a retail superhero, and I'm going to tell you why. Who here has ever been working a job and literally wanted to tell someone where to stick it?
Yeah! Always!
You're going to love this story. So I am not proud of this story, mind you. Anyone here ever heard of Rhode Island Comic-Con? Don't worry, it sucks anyway. So I'm doing this show, and my booth manager got the flu, so she wasn't there on Saturday. Friday was okay, and this guy comes up to my booth. Now, the nickname I gave to him in my head, and I was never going to say it aloud until right now, was Gay Dust. I will explain. Anyone remember the wrestler Goldust? Airbrushed white, whole head, short hair, glitter, black accents all over his face from the neck up. From the neck down, gray sweatshirt, blue jeans, white sneakers, which apparently means you're over 40, so that's what someone told me when I was wearing white sneakers with black jeans when I was 15. So, the reason why I explain that will come into play in this story. So, while I'm talking to him, I wasted 45 minutes to an hour. How much fame can he get for his buck? Meanwhile, his two friends that I called the Twin Towers because they were both like 6'5", blocking the entrance to my booth. Meanwhile, I've got the fish on the line. I'm not going to say, guys, I'm going to stand here and here because then the guy's going to tell me to go fuck myself and they're all going to leave. So finally he sits down, I explain to him I have to micromanage, I have to take the impression, pour the mold, and make the fangs. So I told him, like, fill everything out, give me your phone number. If I get them done today, I'll text you. If not, I'll have them done first thing tomorrow. Not for comedic effect, I swear to God, and I have witnesses, this is what his voice sounded like. He said to me, I don't get them right now. All goes to him, like, no, it's like, your fangs. No, I gotta go through this whole fucking process. So he's like, but I'm this today. I am not exaggerating or making one word of this up. But when he did this, I don't care if you're Jesus, it doesn't make me make the fangs any faster. And that's when something broke off. So finally he just goes, okay, I don't want to do it. So I try really hard to remain professional. So I have this thing where I clap my hands together and I'm just like, okay. He gets up, I close the laptop, I go into cleanup mode because you ever been just so mad with someone, your hands are fucking shaking? So this goes here, that goes there. We'll close that. Well then, I feel like 5 minutes have gone by, and I thought I mumbled this very quietly. I did not, I said it very loud, and I just had my head down, waste my fucking time, thinking 5 minutes have gone by, 5 seconds have gone by, he is right in front of me. And I look up and he just looks at me and just goes, I didn't realize there was a wait. At this point, the angel on my shoulder goes, I know what you have to do. I just don't want to watch it. He turns away. He leaves me. The devil on my shoulder just whispers in my ear, he already knows you're an asshole. And then the moron in the back of my head is like, there's going to be a fight. So I pull up both fists, punch my table and lean forward. I'm like, you're number 7, what the fuck do you think? And he just goes, oh, and then waddles away. Now again, I'm not proud of this. 5 minutes later, my friend walks over and goes, you're really rude to those 3 gay guys I sent over here. I'm like, what 3 gay guys? And she's like, oh, please. I'm like, oh, I assume nothing. I got yelled at for assuming a guy was straight, so I assumed nothing. I don't care what your sexuality is. And then I felt really bad about the nickname I gave him in my head. But the story doesn't end there. 45 minutes to an hour go by, I have to go to the bathroom. Rhode Island Comic-Con is a lot like this convention. If you're in the middle of it, you have to walk way over there to get to the bathroom, or way over there. So I'm walking through the convention center, just making sure I don't run into them, because I realized I was an asshole. I will own that. You can tell by the shit I'm talking about. I get to the men's room and I'm thinking, all right, I made it. And I realize they might be in there. So I do something in a public bathroom I never thought I'd do. And I just walk up and kick the door open. Boom! I'm walking like this. Everyone in the bathroom's just like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And I was like, went in the stall and stayed there. And I stayed there for a good 10 minutes. And it got really quiet. And then all of a sudden I heard the theme to The Walking Dead. And I'm just like, everyone in the men's room is laughing. So I just go out of the door, wash my hands, and fucking leave. Because I'm like, this is horrible. So who here thinks they would survive in a horror movie? Me! Who said me? You'd be the first to die, dude. No offense. I know enough. I'd be the guy that would be like, don't go that way. Why? Can't you hear the music? And I would go that way. But there are ways to survive a horror movie. Very simple. Friday the 13th. Stay out of Camp Crystal Lake on Friday the 13th. Don't have sex while they're pushing the deformed kid into the water. Scream. Know your horror movie trivia. Listen up to all the people who don't watch horror movies because Ghostface will get you. Or, if you don't know your horror movie trivia, be able to beat the shit out of him. He's still human.
Don't answer the phone.
I always answer the phone. See, I'm old enough to remember when telemarketers, it was really a person on the other end. They pick up, I'm like, hello? Hello? Do you own your own home? No, and I think you should kill yourself. Click. I'm brutal. I'm really fucking brutal. Throw out a horror movie, I'll tell you how to survive it.
Freddy Krueger.
Nightmare? What? Nightmare on Elm Street? A little tricky. You either gotta control your fear, you must be a Jedi, or if you're a dream warrior, know how to use your powers. And don't get cocky and don't separate.
9-10, never sleep again.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Very simple. Stay the fuck out of Texas. I mean, who wants to go to Texas anyway? I know Texas Frightmare is there, but I haven't done that show yet. Any others?
Killer clowns from outer space.
Shoot him in the nose.
Bill Cosby.
You're fucked.
Don't drink anything he gives you. You sick fuck.
Take me to a Diddy party.
Oh.
At least you get laid. You and me both, man. What?
Get the baby oil.
Baby? Did you say baby oil?
Yeah, that's what Diddy did.
Is that a horror movie?
Diddy did
I
it.
miss baby
Diddy
oil?
did it.
Diddy did
That's
it.
a, you tell I don't know shit about Diddy, although I watched one episode of that shit on Netflix, and I'm like, no one saw this coming? And you know what I really hate about Diddy? Now I have to feel sorry for that fuck Justin Bieber. Anyone have a group of friends that do a Festivus party on December 23rd? And then they do the grievances? Every year, my grievances would be the same thing. Dave Brockie is dead. Lemmy is dead. David Bowie is dead. Justin Bieber still walks this fucking earth. Any other horror movies someone might want me to give you a chance to survive in?
Puppet Master.
What?
Puppet Master.
Hunt them motherfuckers. Hunt them. That's all you gotta do.
Puppet Master is just, don't play with puppets.
Jeepers creepers.
You're fucked.
I ain't scared of that motherfucker. He's gonna love me.
Christine.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Oh.
Never abandon your car. She loved him. That was a love you can't find very easily. And he abandoned that car.
Cars cost too much to abandon now anyway.
Alright, I will close with a horrible, horrible story. Like most of the stories in my life, but when I was 21, a friend of mine passed away in her sleep. No, the joke is not about that. But I was actually one of the last people to call her. She had an eating disorder and she had an issue with her heart and she passed away in her sleep. So a friend of mine, we all have that one friend that is always calling you and is always laughing, he's never serious, and he's crying, so I know something's wrong. So he tells me who passed away. Now I don't know how to handle this because when you're 21, you don't realize once mortality is put right in front of your face, it's like, shit, we can die. We're not invincible. I don't know, I never went through that phase. I was afraid of death since I was in first grade. But we bought tickets to see Shanghai Noon, if anyone remembers that movie. Any Jackie Chan fans here? So, my mother and father are having dinner and drinks with my German neighbors. The reason why I say what their nationality is comes into play later in the story. So, my mother has this method, this calming nature of putting things in perspective for you. And she goes, did you already buy the tickets? I'm like, yes. She's like, is missing the movie gonna bring your friend back? No. She goes, go to the movies, have fun with your friends, mourn later. I'm like, okay. So we go to the movies, it was fun, but you always got that horrible thing spinning in the back of your head when someone tells you something horrible. So I go home, and back then I did a lot of writing. As you've seen tonight, it's horrible. So I sit down, I'm like, I'm going to put my feelings down on paper. Now it's early spring, the windows are down, and all of a sudden, it's like 2:30 in the morning, I hear two people outside laughing, talking really loud, fumbling over themselves. And I'm just like, it's 2:30 in the morning, these assholes are gonna wake up my parents and somehow I'm gonna be in trouble. And then I realized I know these two voices. It was my mother and father. So, I look out the window and I'm watching them. I don't know how they made it from the street into the house, because we lived on one of those fuck you hills that came around. So, the front door opens and I walk downstairs and I'm like, Mom? Dad? My mom's like, hi! My dad walks into the living room and is just doing this. I've never seen my parents intoxicated before at this point. So I'm like, are you guys drunk? And my mom's like, well, you know, you told us that story about your friend and we got all upset. And I'm like, Mom! She's like, no. We were trying to keep up with our German neighbors. My mom's Scottish, she can hold her own. My father's Italian, he can handle his scotch. So, they're like, what time is it? And I'm like, it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning. My mom's like, oh my God, we've got to go to church in the morning. We've got to cook for the homeless shelter and we've got to clean the house tomorrow. I'm thinking, we're not doing shit in the morning. So I go to bed, I wake up at 10:30 the next morning. Mom and Dad have already been up. They went to early mass. They've had breakfast. They've cleaned half the house. When I grow up, I want to be like Mom and Dad. Guys, I'm Horror Show Jack. Thank you for having me.
Yeah!
Everybody.